J'ai pris bonne note des
I have heard the chair's recommendations on our interventions, and I think I will skip a few slides. Sustainable agriculture in Mali, where are we in Mali? So this is the outline of my presentation. But given that many subjects have already been covered in the first panel, I will skip through the first parts. Mali is a country that is facing many challenges today, and this slide is just a reminder with its population close to 19 million, and you have the essential data on the screen. We haven't made much progress because of the security challenges and political situation in the country. What is the current situation? There are two SDGs that we look at. SDG number 2 goes hand in hand with SDG 17 for a very good reason. Partnerships are essential to implement SDG number 2. Our economy is mainly based on agriculture with small holdings, family holdings, traditional agriculture, and we use little modern inputs, and we don't have a good water use techniques. There is widespread hunger and malnutrition, and the prevalence of those two problems tends to increase. After launching SDGs in our country, we carried out two reviews, one linked to zero hunger with the World Food Programme. There was also a study on the cost of hunger in Mali. We did that with the WFP and other institutions. And with these two reports, we were able to confirm a few things we knew already concerning our country. So linked to SDG 2, as I said, our economy is mostly based on agriculture. Hunger is on the increase, and we have many policies and many programs in our country to tackle these problems. There's a strong political commitment with the Maputo process, and there's also a significant part of our budget that is dedicated to this area, but there is a problem of capacity and a lack of financial resources. We have about a dozen policies that are being implemented. There's a national policy on food security, the agricultural development policy, the social protection policy, the animal husbandry policy. We have many policies, so this leads to fragmentation in the policies and in the administrations. This is a challenge to understand the concepts, but also a challenge in the day-to-day work of all the people concerned. I'll also talk about SDG 17, but I would like to recall that we rely more heavily these last few years on development aid than we had in the past. We have a specific approach to the implementation of SDGs. Our approach consists in considering that each SDG is independent. If you take SDG 2, you have the 3 areas mentioned by Dr. Caron: production, productivity, the social dimension, and interaction with SDG 3. Then there's sustainability. These are micro programs. Each SDG is a micro program, but you also have to tackle these 3 aspects of the SDG. So this is a contradiction, and this contradiction is noticed on the ground when you try and implement policies. So given that all the SDGs are linked, it's hard to have a single sectoral approach to tackle each problem. I said that we had many policies that are implemented side by side, but we have no synergies between those policies. And grouping together different partners around a theme allows us to build partnerships and to try and find synergies. This diagram shows how the SDGs were sorted in 5 categories. The first group is linked to capacity, but the SDG number 2 is in the second group, linked to sustainable economic growth, inclusion, and transformation of the agricultural and industrial sectors. The second group is not under the authority of the Agriculture Ministry, but under the authority of the Finance and Economics Ministry. SDG 2 is in a group with economic SDGs. We made this choice because we consider that poverty is the main problem in our country. If we want to ensure food security, SDG 2 has to be in the group of the poverty eradication group of SDGs. Concerning programs, the programs have to be cross-sectoral and have to be thought of taking into account this global approach that takes into account all the goals. For SDG 17, we also consider that 3 axes have to be followed. We have to benefit fully from remittances, and we also passed a law on PPPs, and a recent law was also passed to improve the use of remittances. We have adopted a new policy for development aid. The initiative Zero Hunger has to be implemented. And we also have a financing program that is quite innovative that is being implemented. We have identified some challenges, lack of qualified human resources or capacities, financial resources, and also resources for regional authorities and administrations. What are the next steps? We need to implement the institutional framework for implementing the SDGs. Many parts of this system are not ready, are not functioning yet. We also have to include SDGs in our documents and policies on programs and general economic plans. Also, capacity building at every level of the administrations, whether national or regional. And there's also work that has to be done on the relevant indicators for priority SDGs. So we need to have data, mechanisms to analyze the data, and this will help us improve the situation. This is what I wanted to say as an introduction to this panel, and then I'll come in if you have any questions. Thank you.